Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to the Liverpool Review live watch along of the Liverpool's Champions League game away at Porto. Kickoff is just under 10 minutes away, so as always, let's dive straight in with the team news ahead of this super exciting clash against Porto. So we'll come over to the formation board to guide you through the team news. And in goal, we've got Alisson, Becker. Left back is Andy Robertson, and a centre-back partnership of Van Dijk and Matip. So the same centre-back partnership that Klopp used away in that very exciting 3-3 draw away at Brentford. And at right back, Alexander-Arnold didn't travel with the squad to Porto, which means James Milner comes in at right back. In the centre of midfield, we have Fabinho, Jones and Henderson. So again, the same midfield that Klopp has gone for, that he used against Brentford, he's using tonight against Porto. And then up top, we've got a front three of Sadio Mane, Mo Salah and Diogo Jota. So just one change then from that 3-3 draw away at Brentford in the Premier League. Alexander-Arnold out, not travelled with the squad, and James Milner comes in. So let's dive in, as we always like to do, with a bit of background about Liverpool and Porto. And we'll start off with the head-to-head first of all. So this will be the 7th time that Liverpool and Porto have met in the Champions League. Porto have so far been unable to beat Liverpool with 4 defeats and 2 draws against the Reds. This fixture is well known, of course, for its goals, with 19 goals in total in all Champions League encounters, 16 of which have been for Liverpool and 3 have been for Porto. So Porto and Liverpool share 8 Champions League trophies between them. The last time that Porto won the Champions League was under Jose Mourinho in that iconic Champions League final with Jose Mourinho managing them. And of course, 6 Champions League trophies to the Reds. And it's interesting, within the whole group, so with AC Milan, Porto, Liverpool and Atletico Madrid, there are 15 Champions League trophies between them all. So a super competitive group. We know that when this group was announced, how exciting it was because of how competitive it is for a group stage Champions League draw. So let's look at Porto then in a little bit more detail, our opponents tonight. So they were founded in 1893 and they play their football at the Estadio do Dragão, a 50,000-seater stadium in the heart of Porto. They currently play in the top division of Portuguese football, where they've been ever since its inauguration in 1934, and they currently sit second in the Primeira Liga, just 4 points behind leaders Benfica. They're coming off the back of a 2-1 win over Gil Vicente, with a near-to-last-minute winner from Sergio Oliveira. Their first Champions League game with Atletico Madrid ended in a 0-0 draw, in which Porto saw Mbemba sent off and so is therefore suspended for tonight's game against Liverpool. Porto are managed by Sergio Conceição, who's been in charge since 2017, and the former winger has 56 caps for the Portuguese national team before entering into coaching in 2012. So let's look at Liverpool then in a bit more detail. We, of course, come into this game off a 3-2 win against AC Milan in the Champions League, in which we had an impressive 23 attempts on goal. And that's, I think, even more impressive when you think about against Porto, the opposition tonight, who only managed 5 attempts against AC Milan. And we can probably expect quite a feisty game against Porto this evening. Porto, in their opening game against Atletico Madrid, racked up 6 yellow cards and 1 red card and 21 fouls committed. Now, that's compared to Liverpool in their opening game against AC Milan with just 1 yellow card, no reds, and 11 fouls. So it should be quite, well, spicy, I guess, to be honest. So let us know your thoughts, as always. Do hit us up in the chat, of course. Let us know your predictions, your feelings about the game today, and of course how you're feeling about everything. We'll head back over to the tracker, and if you are new to the channel, just to talk to you a little bit around what you can see on screen. So we will have the score, of course, at the bottom. That will be updated throughout the game, and also the timer as well, in case you want to sync to it. Over on my left hand side is the live tracker. So this is here to just give a bit more of a visual experience as to what's going on. It will track the game in real time, but also we'll dip into it for stats as well throughout the game. And we'll also keep abreast of all the other games that are going on in the Champions League. Of course, another mouth-watering tie is Man City versus Paris Saint-Germain. So we'll keep you updated with those scores as the goals go in as well. But let's focus back on Liverpool. We're just under 5 minutes away until kickoff. And I think it's really interesting for me listening to Jurgen Klopp in the build-up, and also Diogo Jota as well, who was the player in the press conference representing Liverpool this time round. And Klopp in the press conference very much talking about, of course, Porto being a very tricky side to play. Yes, Liverpool, we do have a good form going into Porto. Like I said, in the last 6 Champions League games, we haven't lost against Porto. We have won 4 of those matches and drawn 2 of them. But Jurgen Klopp wasn't too interested in kind of, I suppose, dwelling on past victories. He was very much focused, as you would expect, on the game tonight and how we're going to set up and obviously how we're going to play. And I think with the formation, we'll head back over to the formation board, because I think the formation is going to be quite interesting. Obviously, Milner at right back, we know he can do a job there and do a fantastic job there. Van Dijk and Matip, I must admit, it's quite interesting because I don't know about you guys, but I felt in the game against Brentford, this was probably the hardest game we've had defensively, I think, in the Premier League so far this season. And particularly towards the latter stages of that game. I think for Matip in particular, I felt that he started to look a bit tired and he started to look a bit leggy in that game. So it's great that he's fit and he is such a superb defender. We know that. But we kind of, I suppose, just have to keep one eye on how he kind of manages his own game throughout the game, how he looks towards the end of the match today. Of course, Van Dijk is the Colossus, and Van Dijk really, I thought, really saved us in that game against Brentford, particularly towards the end. If you remember Ivan Toney, who had that chance running in on goal before Van Dijk managed to get across and intercept. And it was in that example, I think, where you saw Matip just kind of drop off a little bit, looking a bit tired, not able to keep up with Ivan Toney. So it'll be interesting to see how Matip gets on. Of course, such a solid partnership with Van Dijk, but we look forward to that as well. Naturally, Fabinho, we know he shines in the Champions League. He's such a fantastic player. I've said it before, fastly becoming my second favourite all-time Liverpool player. He is so solid in that defensive midfield role. And it'll be really interesting to see how Curtis Jones gets on. He scored that wonderful goal against Brentford, and we know what a threat he can be going forward. And I think for me particularly, what was really interesting, if we talk about the way that he plays, and particularly the way that he scored that goal against Brentford, for me, it reminded me very much of Philippe Coutinho, what he used to do, kind of tear down the 18-yard line, unleash a shot into the corner. This time, of course, Jones whipped that shot in so quickly with so much pace. It did take a deflection, which took it over the Brentford keeper, Aya. However, it was such a good strike, of course. And up top, Diogo Jota, the man who really made his name for Liverpool when he first arrived in the Champions League, scoring a hat-trick in one of the games. Be really good to see how he gets on. He is in for Firmino, and Firmino is on the bench, so we could expect to see Firmino at some point, but great to see what Diogo Jota can do. And of course, Sadio Mane and Mo Salah down the wings. And I think for me, Sadio Mane is a Champions League legend for Liverpool. He's produced so many fantastic moments for us over the years. I mean, for me, probably the highlight for me is his goal against Bayern Munich, that long ball from Virgil van Dijk, how he traps the ball, spins, and then chips the ball into the back of the net past Manuel Neuer was just a thing of beauty. So we hope he can find form today. We hope he can hit his very high standards that he gives to himself. And if he does, well, we're going to be in for a real treat, I think, offensively. So ones to watch then for Porto tonight. Luis Diaz, their number 7, is probably one to keep an eye on. I think he is Porto's top goal scorer this season so far. He is a threat going forward. He tends to come in from the wing and drift in. And if you remember, he scored that absolute worldie of a goal against Man City, where he basically ran it from almost the halfway line, I think, and just basically kept running and running, took it round so many City players and buried it. So we've got to keep an eye out on Porto. They will pose an attacking threat, of course, so it'll be interesting to see. As the players are now out on the pitch, the coin toss is now going ahead. Jordan Henderson, of course, with the captain's armband. And it looks to be a near full stadium in Porto. We would expect to hear the Liverpool fans in full voice, of course, away at Porto. God, how much we'd love to be there, of course. But we do get to watch the game, which is, of course, really good. So, so like I said, team news: Alisson, Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, and Milner, Henderson, Fabinho, Jones, Mane, Diogo Jota, and Salah. And Naby Keita is fit. There was fears he may not be back this side of the international break. However, Naby Keita has travelled with Porto and is on the Liverpool bench. As we just wait now for the referee to blow his whistle as the players take the knee. And we are ready to kick off this Champions League game. Here we go. Like I said, let us know what you think in the chat. Keep us posted. We'll make this as interactive as we can. So let us know as Liverpool kick off. Liverpool playing from left to right in the opening half. As Matip plays a long ball forwards. Porto do defend it though. Liverpool just trying to find their feet. They have done Mane with a nice back pass to Van Dijk there under a little bit of pressure. And the Estadio do Dragão in full voice. Like I said, a 50,000 seater stadium. It was, I think, their first game for Porto back in 2003. So they've been here a while, and it was used as one of the stadiums in the European Championships, of course, which were hosted in Portugal back in 2004. As Porto come forward, referee plays on. It's a good defending there from Van Dijk. Porto goes down, referee plays on. Comes out to Robertson on this left-hand side, who plays a ball forward. As the Liverpool have a throw in which they go back to Van Dijk. Joel Matip looks to play a long ball forward and he finds Mane beautifully. Mane just unable to trap it first time and it goes out in the end for a Liverpool throw deep into Porto's half. Be interested to see the setup between Van Dijk and Matip. We know that Matip likes to run the ball out of defence and Van Dijk loves to play those beautiful 40, 50-yard balls. Going to be a real asset, I think, in tonight's game, particularly if they can pick out Salah and Mane on the wings. As Van Dijk does look to hit a long pass forward, just not enough on it, although it only drops to Henderson. Salah's picked this up on the right-hand side, plays it back to Henderson. Can he get the cross in? Milner's there to support on the far right. Plays it back to Henderson. And Salah with a loose touch, but Henderson's picked it back up really nicely and Porto do get it out. And they look to lump it forward. There's only a couple back here for Liverpool, but the ball's got too much pace on it and it goes all the way through to Alisson, who lumps it forward, but it's going to go through to the Porto keeper. As Matip's got a bit of defending to do here, he does nicely. Pass it back to Alisson. Alisson calmly, as he likes to do, but doesn't hit a good ball out. Porto do win it back pretty high up the pitch. Diaz is on the ball here, turns it in, but he just loses out there. And Sadio Mane, Liverpool could be away here down the left-hand side. They are with Robertson, runs it over the halfway line. He's got 3 in the middle today, Matt. Diogo Jota's got a push. Oh, there's a bit of a look there. Diogo Jota just having a bit of a look at the ref. Porto do manage to head it away. It's going to go out for a Liverpool throw-in out on this right-hand side. But the ball comes in. It's a really nice ball in from Robertson. Beautifully weighted. It comes in. Jota goes down. And then, yeah, Porto managed to defend it. Salah's there lurking on the back post, but Porto do get it away as Liverpool take the throw. But they play it loose. And the ball's gone out for a throw-in to Porto by the corner flag. As Porto clear up, it's with the keeper Costa. As Liverpool just looking to try and get a bit of possession. Porto have just got the majority of the ball here at the moment. Not really doing too much with it at the moment, though, Porto. Liverpool are able to contain them. However, they've got a ball through here. Milner's got defending to do, and he misses out, but he recovers well, Milner. And the referee waves play on. That was good recovery there from Milner. Just kind of got taken out a little bit by the Porto player. Comes running down that left wing, and then Diaz comes back in. And Milner just manages to get his body in the way. But Liverpool just struggling a little bit in these opening 5 minutes just to retain possession. Porto have seen a fair bit of the ball so far. Looking to just knock it round the back now, Porto. Liverpool taking a nice shape. Kind of classic 4-3-3 formation. And tearing down. Porto have got a chance here. They can find there's a bit of space out on this right-hand side. They're going to put a cross in. They are, but it gets headed clear by Matip. Good header that away. Diogo Jota's managed to win it back. Salah, and Salah just gets it nicked off him, but only as far as Fabinho, who is a bit of pinball there, and it gets picked up by Porto. Liverpool not really winning these second balls as Porto come in. It's Diaz. It's Diaz. Can he get a shot away? He can. It's been deflected, which has just taken the pace off it, and Alisson's able to collect it. But there, Liverpool again, they saw this against Brentford in the Premier League at the weekend, just a little bit slow to those second balls in the midfield and in defence, and they've really got to stay switched on. If they are not to give away these chances and these opportunities to Porto tonight, they're going to have to try and win those second balls a little bit more convincingly. But Diogo Jota comes up. He's got Mane to his left. He finds Mane. Mane comes into the penalty area, switches to his right foot, and he just kind of dallies. But Robertson comes up, brings the ball in. It's a good cross, but it's just got a bit too much on it for Salah. And the ball's going to run out for a Porto throw. Bit of a chance there, you would have thought. Mane cuts in. Mane picks up the ball nicely, cuts in, but I don't know. I think he opts to play almost a back pass back to Robertson, unless he gets tackled. I'm not sure. But he almost opts to play it back to Robertson. Robertson with a nice ball in. It's not too close to the keeper this time. That was probably the one thing we had as well against Brentford, was those balls coming in were just getting a bit too close to the keeper. Nice ball in, but it just had a bit too much on it for Salah, and it goes out for a Porto throw. Little bit stop-start, and so while there is a break in play, let's go and check out what's been going on in the other 8 o'clock matches so far this evening. Of course, that mouth-watering tie between Paris Saint-Germain and Man City. As Paris Saint-Germain have got a goal against Manchester City. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Let's see if we can go in and take a look. And Leipzig also 1-0 up against Club Brugge as well. So 2 early goals in Group A of the Champions League. And it's Gaye who's got the goal for Paris Saint-Germain in the 8th minute. And Luis Diaz comes down this left-hand side, pulls the ball back. Porto in possession just on the halfway line, look to bring it up. They do. They send the ball over. Van Dijk's got a bit of work to do, but he does well, and Alisson claims it. Good defending there from Virgil van Dijk, just to muscle Martinez out the way. Like I said, do hit us up in the chat if you're watching. Let us know your predictions, what you feel about the game so far. We'll give you a shout out as well in the chat box. Do let us know, as Liverpool got the ball safe with Van Dijk at the back. And yeah, not much to report at the moment. Let's go back in. Actually, we can go and take a look at the stats board, actually. Let's go and take a look and see what's been going on so far. Like I said, probably not too much to report in this opening 10 minutes. It has been a pretty even game so far today. We'll go and take a look at the stats board. There we go. So yeah, Porto with that shot off target. Liverpool not yet to register an attempt in the opening 10 minutes. Possession pretty even. Liverpool just edging it with 55%. So that's pretty much, yeah, the tail of the game, I'd say, so far. Not too much happening as Curtis Jones gives away a foul there. Of course, Curtis Jones starting this game. Naby Keita is on the bench. There were fears that he was going to be injured, or at least if we were going to see him this side of the international break. But very fortunately, he's travelled with Liverpool to Porto and does make an appearance on the bench. So I guess we think whether we're going to see him later on in the game. We'll see how the game progresses. But great to see Curtis Jones get a start after what was a really good performance against Brentford in the Premier League on Saturday. As Porto have got a throw out on this left-hand side. Sadio Mane picks up the ball. There's a bit of space out here for Robertson. Robertson does pick up the ball. He's just about controlled it to get it away. He does. Plays an early ball into Salah. Oh, he's just got too much on it. Salah's going to be able to keep it in, though, on this right-hand side. Henderson's going to whip the ball in. He does. And it just goes behind the Liverpool players, and Porto do get it clear. Good opportunity that for Robert. Robertson does well. It's not the best of balls from Mane. Doesn't quite release Robertson as probably as good as it should have done. Robertson, though, does pick the ball up. He does run with it. Whips an early ball in to Mo Salah. And again, just a little bit ahead of Salah. He can't quite get his leg out to stretch. He's got to run it down. And in the end, Porto get it clear. However, Porto are going to get a corner here. As Porto are going to make a sub, actually. I guess there's a Porto player who's struggling. There is. And it looks like Fabio Vieira's going to come on. It looks like Tavera who's got the injury. As Porto get a corner, but Liverpool managed to get it clear. Relatively slow tempo start, it must be said, to the game. It's not started at the pace, certainly, of Liverpool's opening Champions League game against AC Milan, albeit we would expect this game to heat up. Both very attacking teams in Porto and Liverpool. And of course, we know what a threat we can pose in the Champions League. So, yeah, so Porto are going to make a change. It's Otavio who comes off, and Fabio Vieira comes on. Oh, Tevio looks pretty disappointed, as you can imagine, coming off after 13 minutes of the game. Oh dear, that's not nice to see. I'm not quite sure what the injury was. He didn't seem to be hobbling too much, but obviously clearly something is hurting him. As Liverpool have got a It's a free kick to Porto. James Milner's just gone in, pretty much left the Porto player on the floor. It looks to be a hamstring issue, I think, for Otavio in the end. So Porto have got the free kick, which they take. They do lump it forward, and they've won the header there very convincingly, it must be said. Porto look to come forward, but they can't quite get the ball forward. I think it's Van Dijk in the end with a good defensive block there. As Alisson plays the ball forwards, it's got a lot of height on it. Mane gets up, does well, but it's adjudged to have fouled. Yeah, it's a facial injury. It's a knock to the face. As Porto are going to get a free kick here. As Mata gets the ball forward, it's a bit of a poor defensive header, though. It lands into Porto, but Liverpool do win it back. Hack the ball away, but only as far as about the halfway line, and Porto have got this back. That's a bit of a late call there on Sadio Mane. It's interesting. The referee didn't seem to bite. He's been adjudged to have handballed this just on the halfway line, Sadio Mane. The assistant raised his flag. It is a handball. So it's going to be a free kick to Porto. And Liverpool we've just got to be a bit careful, I think, not to give away too many cheap free kicks or fouls, really. As the ball comes in, they've got a bit of defensive work to do here. Only as far, and they're going to have a shot, Porto. They do, and it gets blocked by Henderson, but it's 2-on-2 here. The break is on. Sadio Mane down this right-hand side. What can he do? He hits a lovely crossfield ball to Jota. Jota picks it up, and he can't quite get it trapped under his feet. It's good defensive play, that, from Porto. Jota does pick the ball back up, though, and it comes as far as Andy Robertson out on this left-hand side. Plays it back to Jota. Liverpool with the ball. Going to probably have a bit of spell of possession. It'd be good just to pass this ball around, I think, just to get a bit of spell, get their feet on the ball for Liverpool. As it comes out to the right-hand side with James Milner. As Curtis Jones picks up the ball on the left-hand side. What can he do? He cuts into the box. He jigs, he shoots. Oh, it's through to Salah. He's got it. And it's in. Mo Salah. Yes, yes. Mo Salah and the Champions League, synonymous with goals, right? Salah pokes it in. A little bit of an unorthodox finish from Mo Salah. He's about 4 yards out. Curtis Jones is the man, though, here. He does so well, Curtis Jones, out on this left-hand side. Picks up the ball on the far left-hand corner. Robertson plays Curtis Jones in. Makes a nice run, Curtis Jones, out to the left. Runs the ball in. He's taking people on. He jinks. Gets the shot away. The keeper parries it. It comes off a Porto player. The Porto player can't trap it quick enough. It almost deflects off the Porto player. Mo Salah is there behind just to poke the ball away from about, like I said, 3-4 yards out. Liverpool 1-0 up. Mo Salah, you beauty. So we can update the score there. Fantastic goal, that, from Liverpool, and brilliant play from Curtis Jones there. Fantastic for Liverpool. What a great start this is. Really fantastic start. And now can we, I say push on, not to get too greedy, but to push on and score more. But that's going to force Porto to come out. Hopefully that'll open this game up a little bit. It has been a little bit static in places in this first 18 minutes or so. It's been a little bit temperamental. I think both teams just trying to kind of suss each other out a little bit. Porto have had quite a bit of the ball, but certainly you would expect Porto to have to open up a little bit more now as they chase the game, and that would hopefully open up more space for us to exploit down those wings. Oh, Curtis Jones there, so much confidence. He's such a fantastic player, of course, and he plays with such confidence as well. Just cuts it in from down that left-hand side. He's not afraid to take players on, and he kind of jinks the ball back onto his right foot, gets a shot away, and the keeper parries it. It's a really good shot on target. The keeper could only parry it. It came within such pace. It's Mo Salah's released down this right-hand side, but Porto defend this well. They're going to cut this out. They do. They lump the ball forward only as far as Henderson, though, has picked it up. Curtis Jones now about 40 yards out. Opts to play it to Robertson on this left-hand side. Curtis Jones making another run over to the left. That's going to be a useful asset, actually, this evening, I think. Curtis Jones finding a lot of space on that left wing. As Henderson plays a nice ball through to Salah, knocks it back to Milner. Could have played a ball in there. Milner opts to try and thread Salah through. Not a bad thinking, really. Salah was in a bit of space. Can't quite execute the pass. Was a bit of space on the other side, though, had Milner looked up. I think he probably could have got across into that far post. As the ball comes up, Sadio Mane traps it beautifully. He's got a bit of a jink here. He puts in Robertson. Oh, it was a good thinking by Mane. It's just the ball's played a little bit behind Robertson. Really slick take that and trap that from Sadio Mane out in the far left-hand side. So referee plays play on. There's a Porto player down. As Mo Salah misplaces the touch a little bit and the ball goes out for a Porto throw. Looking for a foul here, Porto. Not much in it. Kind of his arm comes across. Curtis Jones, his arm comes across and catches the Porto player in the face. But, I mean, not much in that, to be honest, that would be said. I think Liverpool were right to play on, personally. So Mo Salah adding a goal to that goal he scored against AC Milan in game week 1 of the Champions League. And we'll keep you posted, like I said, with what's going on in the other games across the Champions League this evening. Man City were trailing Paris Saint-Germain 1-0. And they're still trailing Paris Saint-Germain 1-0. Leipzig are leading Bruges. Those are the two games in Group A. AC Milan have gone a goal up against Atletico Madrid. It's Leao with the goal after 20 minutes. So that's interesting, actually, because when we look at the table now of Group B, if we go and take a look at the table, that means, as it stands, Liverpool on 6 points, AC Milan on 3, Atletico on 1, and Porto on 1. If it stays like this, of course, a long way to go. We're not expecting it to stay like this. But if it does stay like this, we are hopefully going to start to get a bit more breathing space in this Champions League group. And it is actually, to be honest, it would be a really good result for us, of course, if AC Milan were to beat Atletico. Of course, a draw would probably favour as well. But, of course, us beating AC Milan in game week 1. As we'll come back to the game as Salah puts a ball in. Henderson wants a penalty, does want a penalty, may go to VAR. There's not too many shouts, and I think as there's a foul here, I think it's going to be a free kick here. But is there going to be a penalty to Liverpool? This is going to be interesting. The ball comes in. I think it's a bit too close to the arm. I don't think this will be given as a penalty, to be honest. It comes up off his shoulder. Yeah, it's too high. It's not going to be given as a penalty. It would be unfortunate for Porto to be adjudged to have handballed that. But Liverpool are going to have a dangerous free kick out on this right-hand side. Robertson and James Milner standing over it. Matip and Van Dijk up. Porto defending with quite a high line. They're kind of standing just on the 18-yard line. As the ball gets whipped in by James Milner, the ref has found something. He's got to wait for the whistle as the referee makes the point. It's quite stern, this referee. Basically, James Milner took the free kick a little bit too early, which, I must admit, it was a long while before he took the free kick, to be fair to James Milner. He probably was just waiting a while. Anyway, James Milner whips the ball in. It's a nice ball in. Comes up to Mane, but it's a lovely interception that from Robertson. There's a break on here. 3-on-3 for Porto. Liverpool have got to be careful here. It is a breakaway. Liverpool charging back as he plays it out to the right-hand side. Porto on the ball on the edge of the area. Play a ball in. Fabinho's there with the header. Only can loop it up. It's a good defensive header that from Fabinho just to take the sting off the ball as Mo Salah picks up the ball beautifully, then uses his strength. And the ball goes out for a Liverpool throw. Great work that from Fabinho first and then Mo Salah to hold the ball up. As Porto did have a chance. That was half a chance for Porto. 3-on-3. A break away from the Liverpool free kick. They came running down the pitch. Opted to play it outright, took the pace off the ball when the cross came in. It kind of pretty much landed on Fabinho's head and Fabinho was able to flick it back over towards the throw to the byline, and Mo Salah does pick the ball up and wins Liverpool the throw. And as Liverpool have got finding a lot of space down this left-hand side actually. If we could just switch the ball up a little bit quicker, I think we'll be able to exploit this as Robertson comes in down this left-hand side, comes to Diogo Jota, turns, has a shot, it's blocked, has another shot. And I think it's come off the keeper. I think Costa has made the save. Diogo Jota does well to swivel on it with his left foot. Hits a first-time shot, gets blocked. Ball comes back to him, hits it again with his left. And I'm not sure if it was going just over. We'll have a look here. Comes out with his left foot, and it may have been going in, actually. The Costa's done well to get a touch to take that over. It's going to be a Liverpool corner. As Curtis Jones, they play it short. Liverpool comes out as Henderson. Henderson has a go. And Mane, who was standing in offside position, doesn't react. We saw, of course, Henderson unleash an absolutely world-class goal. But Mane, there's a good chance that for Liverpool. As Mane does well to muscle Porto off the ball to get a throw-in for Liverpool deep into Porto's half. But, of course, we see what Henderson can do from outside the box. That goal against AC Milan to make it 3-2 was a thing of absolute beauty. So if Henderson's going to pick the ball up outside the penalty area, by all means, have a go, to be honest. He'll do. As Liverpool take the throw, it's out with Diogo Jota, who gets the ball in, but doesn't beat the first man. Robertson's picked up the ball, and Curtis Jones has done very well there. Good play from Curtis Jones. Just gets the ball out of his feet in the end. Liverpool not able to trap the ball probably as well as they would have liked. There's been a few heavy touches from Liverpool. That's me being super critical, but it has meant as Matip does charge up, Matip is doing an Andy Robertson charging forward with the press. Fair play to him. But it has left Liverpool a little bit short here, but the ball from Porto isn't a good one. It comes through to Alisson. Like I said, do hit us up in the chat if you're watching, guys. We'll give you a shout out. Let us know your thoughts of the game so far. Who's impressed you? What are you enjoying about the match? And what are your predictions for full time? And I'll give you a shout out, of course. Hope you're enjoying it. As Robertson's picked up the ball down this left-hand side. Plays to Curtis Jones, who's just hit it a little bit too hard. It runs through to Costa, the Porto goalkeeper. You could see what Curtis Jones was trying to do there. I think he was just waiting for the runners, but the runners probably just didn't anticipate the pass was going to come over that quickly, and he has hit it a bit too hard, and it has run through to Costa, who plays a long ball forwards. Van Dijk goes up, or Matip goes up, sorry. Good defensive header that. Fabinho comfortably wins the ball. As Henderson tries a ball forward, can't quite wrap it round the Porto defence. Not a great ball that from Henderson. As Diogo Jota does well there to pick the ball up. Salah, surely that's a foul, ref. Surely. Oh, ref. Holding on to Salah's foot. Okay, fair enough. It goes out. It's a Liverpool throw in the end. As Robertson picks up the ball out on this left-hand side, comes through to Fabinho. Will he play a ball through? He does. Fabinho plays those so well, those chip-through balls. Porto do manage to get a head onto it, though, and do get it clear, but Van Dijk is going to tidy up at the back as he plays it back to Alisson. Sadio Mane with the spin. Spins well. Comes out to Robertson out on this left-hand side. Does well here, Andy Robertson. He tries to run up. Sadio Mane's picked up the ball nicely. Can he find a cross? He does. Oh, and Porto get in the way of it. Goes out for a Liverpool corner. Good play that from Sadio Mane down this left-hand side. Runs with the ball. Has looked bright, Sadio Mane, which is great to see. Runs it down the left-hand side. Gets the ball in. Looks to almost place the pass rather than drill it across. And Porto can only put it out. Liverpool with the short corner. Comes as far as Curtis Jones. Plays back for Henderson. He's got a shot lined up. Oh, Hendo, he was caught in two minds there, Jordan Henderson. You just knew he kind of was thinking maybe to take the shot on. In the end, tries a chip through ball, but he's only about 20 yards out. So in the end, it's probably not the best option. Would have thought, have a go from that distance. We know he can do it. We saw it against AC Milan. As we'll just go back into the games that are ongoing at the moment. Bit of a shock result happening down in Group D. Real Madrid versus FC Sheriff, the Moldovan team, who find themselves 1-0 ahead. Real Madrid playing at home, and FC Sheriff have got the goal to go 1-0 ahead. It's Yakshibayev who's got it, and that is a bit of an interesting scoreline so far. As we'll go back to the other games, of course, Paris Saint-Germain up against Man City, and it is still 1-0 to Paris Saint-Germain, an 8-minute goal from Goyer, who's got given Paris Saint-Germain the lead. They are playing at home at the Parc des Princes, Paris Saint-Germain. And in the other game, of course, in Group B, AC Milan are 1-0 up against Atletico Madrid. However, AC Milan are a man down. Kessié with a second yellow, picked up his first yellow in 15 minutes, and then picked up his second yellow after the 29th minute and has got himself sent off. So AC Milan 1-0 ahead. However, down to 10 men, and they're going to have to play 60 minutes, 15 minutes, and then 45 minutes of the second half with 10 men. As Liverpool got the ball safe here with Fabinho just behind the halfway line, plays it back to Van Dijk. Let's see Liverpool just perhaps, like I said, they haven't trapped the ball. They haven't controlled. There's been a few heavy touches so far from Liverpool. If they can just fix that and also when Porto are coming forward, try to assert themselves a little bit more, particularly in winning those second balls and getting in there, then I'd be confident that Liverpool can hold this lead and possibly keep a clean sheet in this game. But we saw in Brentford just how much Liverpool struggled to deal with the aerial threat. Okay, that was Brentford, and they've got different players, of course, but I thought it was quite interesting how Liverpool were struggling in midfield and defence from time to time to pick up those second balls. So if they could just fix that, as Henderson has a shot, but it comes off Mane. They want an offside here, and they probably should get it. But the referee has played on with Fabinho. And yeah, Porto are booing. I almost get the sense Liverpool want to give the ball back to Porto. I mean, that would have been offside. Mane was in an offside position when he picked the ball up. As Milner, nice interplay there between Henderson, Milner and Jones. He's got the ball, he comes running out, he looks to have a shot, he does. Oh, and he goes straight at the keeper. He's worked that well, Jones. He didn't have much on. I think he was looking to play in Robertson on this left-hand side, but he's manoeuvred it onto his right foot. In the end, he can only side foot it. He can't quite generate the power, and Costa hits it basically straight at Costa. And it ends up with the ball safe to Porto. As Porto have got a free kick here. Diogo Jota with the challenge. Of course, Porto coming into this game on an 18-match unbeaten streak. Liverpool on a 17-match unbeaten streak. So unless it's a draw, something has got to give in this game. Liverpool looking well placed at the moment. We've played some very nice football in parts. The goal from Mo Salah was a really nicely worked goal. Well, I mean, it was a really nice bit of play from Curtis Jones. Mo Salah in the end with a tap in from about 3-4 yards out. And Liverpool are getting a lot of space. Like I said, if they can just switch the ball a little bit quicker, they will find space down the wings particularly. Porto playing quite narrow, it has to be said. As Jota does find Milner in acres of space just on the edge of the penalty area, gets the ball in. It's not a great ball. But what Liverpool can do here, what we can do, I think, is if we whip the ball across, play crossfield balls, switch the ball quickly, we're going to cause Porto problems because Liverpool are finding a lot of joy down the wings. They are in a lot of space down the left and right-hand side. If we could just switch the ball up, perhaps bring Van Dijk in, see if he can hit a crossfield ball as we know he likes to do and we know he can do. And just looking at these crossfield balls, if they can play these, Liverpool, we will be in with a really good chance to get a second, I think, and really expose Porto because they are playing pretty narrow, Porto, at the moment. Henderson plays a lovely chip ball over to Sadio Mane, who picks the ball up out on this left-hand side. No one in the middle, though, so Mane's got to do it. Either hold the ball up or do it on his own. And he gets tackled in the end, Mane. He kind of dawdled on the ball a little bit there because, to be fair to Mane, there weren't any Liverpool players attacking the box, so he did have to hold the ball up, but he ends up getting it nicked off him in the end. But Liverpool have won the ball back. Comes through to Curtis Jones. Van Dijk at the top, plays it through to Fabinho. As Robertson picks the ball up on this left-hand side. Curtis Jones makes a nice run, but he finds Diogo Jota. Diogo Jota, he just misplaces his touch. Can't quite find his feet, and he gets the ball out. However, Curtis Jones has done well here. Can he slip Salah in? Salah. Maybe been offside. I'm not sure if he wrong-footed Salah. I think he did. But Liverpool, just in this final third, just got to find a bit of composure, I think. The touches that they've made so far haven't quite been on point. Jota's had a few chances. Mane's had a few chances just to make something happen. But a few heavy touches or misplaced passes of just meaning that Liverpool, that we can't quite get that shot away or create that chance that I think, to be fair, it has to be said, in the last 10 minutes, we probably deserve at least to have created a few more chances than we have done. Just that little bit more quality in the final third, and I think we should be there. Porto have kind of slowed down a little bit. They haven't really offered much since going 1-0 down. They had a pretty bright start, Porto. They were playing some good football in the opening 10 minutes. But since Liverpool scored that goal, it has taken the wind out of Porto's sails a little bit. However, Porto do come forward with Diaz out on this left-hand side. Diaz comes running in. He's a one-on-one with Matip. Can he get what can Matip do? Matip kind of turns a little bit. Diaz is able to get the ball away. Plays it out to the edge of the area. As Porto have just slowed the pace down a little bit, looking to see if they can exploit the gaps. Porto looking to exude a little bit of width now on this game, and fair play to them, I think, to be honest, because they have been a little bit narrow, but in attack, in fairness, they do look pretty wide. They are stretching the pitch here. Robertson has just got to do a little bit of work on the left-hand side, as has Milner. He comes down, he's going to be 1-on-2 here, and he's got to be a bit careful. Liverpool have got to get back. And Matip comes running over, going to get the ball in, and Milner is there to tidy up. But only as far, about 40 yards out now with Porto. Taremi with the pass out wide. The ball comes in, headers up, bicycle kick comes out to Diaz. Diaz with a shot. It's tame. It's half a chance for Porto. You'd expect Diaz to do a bit better there on this left-hand side. Ball comes running through. It picks him up. Diaz picks it up just inside the box. Gets it on his right foot, and he's got a free shot at it, but he kind of tries to side foot it, and he ends up passing it pretty much to Alisson. Liverpool got to be a little bit careful at the back there just to avoid those balls coming out to the right. At a bicycle kick attempt. Not sure which Porto player tried it, but it did run as far as Diaz on the left-hand side. Liverpool on the ball, though, on the halfway line. Robertson in play. As Liverpool play a nice crossfield ball out to Milner. It's a lovely ball. Milner heads it to Mo Salah. And comes up to Henderson now with Joel Matip. Liverpool just passing it around, looking for the space down the wings. Like I said, if they switch the ball a bit quicker, they might find, but they are getting a bit of joy that Porto players not really closing down. That's a bit dangerous with Curtis Jones because he will run at you. We've seen him do it so far in this game. He's such a talented player, Curtis Jones, and they seem to almost stand off in Porto. It's not a great idea, to be honest, to keep doing that because Curtis Jones in space will hurt Porto. Henderson plays a nice ball out to Salah's got a bit of space down this right-hand side. Salah brings it in on his left-hand side. Plays a poor ball, though, through to Sadio Mane, who does well to win the ball. But it runs loose and Porto get it cleared. Just not the best of passes there from Mo Salah into Sadio Mane. As we'll check in with the other scores in the game so far. Of course, one eye on that Paris Saint-Germain versus Manchester City game. And Manchester City still trailing 1-0 to Paris Saint-Germain. In the other Group B game, of course, keeping an eye on this one, AC Milan still 1-0 up after 40 minutes, but they are down to 10 men, AC Milan. Kessié getting sent off after a second yellow after 30 minutes. Leao with the goal for AC Milan, but they're going to have their work to do to keep on to that lead in Group B. And the other game we'll come down to take a look at actually is Real Madrid versus FC Sheriff, the Moldovan team. Real Madrid are a goal down in that game. They are at home as well at the Bernabeu, Real Madrid. But FC Sheriff a goal up, 40 minutes gone in that game as well, as Borussia Dortmund have also got a goal against Sporting. And it is Marlon, new signing Marlon. Marlon, of course, transfer gossip favourite for Liverpool in the summer transfer window, has got his goal. Jude Bellingham with the assist there as Dortmund go 1-0 up against Sporting. Sporting, of course, Porto's rivals in the Primeira Liga in Portugal. They do sit level on points with Porto in the Primeira League. On 17 points. Benfica leading it on 21, 4 points ahead of both of them. They have played each other, though, Sporting and Porto. I think they played out, I think it was a 1-1 draw. They certainly drawed. I think it was 1-1 earlier on in the season. As we'll come back to the Liverpool game, as Liverpool have got it and they come forward with Andy Robertson. Nice pass out. Curtis Jones finding a lot of space down that left-hand side, linking up nicely with Robertson. He picks the ball up, just runs it a little bit too far in. Comes only as far as Sadio Mane. He's got onto the ball there. It's going to be a free kick. It is. Yeah, it's a good driving run in that from Mane. Forces the free kick on the edge of the area. It's going to be a little... I don't know if it will be a shot. I don't think it will. It's just kind of on the edge, far left-hand corner of the area. It's going to be a dangerous free kick, though. You would have thought Robertson's going to be able to whip one in here. Although, dare I say it, it may not happen. Why not give Curtis Jones a shot from there, to be honest? Why not? Let's see what he can do. As Henderson, Salah, Robertson and Milner, I think, are all standing over the ball. One of them's got to take it. Do you know what I'd like to see here, actually? This is the perfect position. I'd like to see one of the Liverpool players roll it out and possibly Curtis Jones or maybe Milner or Henderson running on and attacking this ball. I wonder if they might think about this. Milner is standing over it. Salah's standing over it as well. I don't think they'll hit a shot here. Although Milner might. He's eyeing it up. It's a well-worked free kick. It does come out to Henderson, who's had a shot. Oh, it's a good opportunity. That stings the hand of Costa. It's a really well-worked free kick. Like I said, they've kind of played a bit of 1-2 with each other, which is great to see. Salah knocks it to Milner. Milner releases Henderson. Henderson has a right foot curler. It's got a lot of pace going in the bottom left-hand corner, but Costa has done well to come across and get a hand to it. It's a really well-worked free kick from Liverpool. Brilliant to see. Like I said, just for us to add a bit more variation in those free kicks, I think is going to be a really positive thing. It's worth a try, I think, to be fair. And it was a really good effort, that, from Jordan Henderson. As James Milner's going to come out to take an out-swinging corner on this right-hand side. Van Dijk and Matip up. The corner comes in. It's a good corner coming in. And Porto do get a header clear. Henderson does win it back, though, but only as far... Okay, Curtis Jones picked it up, plays it back to Robertson. And Andy Robertson's ball's just got a bit too much on it. It comes through to Costa. Porto looking to play a little bit quicker. Bit of a cynical foul, that Henderson, just to break up the play on Mateus. Good, probably what you would call an experience foul, that from Jordan Henderson, just to break up the play. Porto were looking just to release the ball Not exactly a counter-attack, but still Henderson, I think. Just breaking up the play. As Costa brings the ball forward. Good block that from James Milner. So just the Mo Salah goal on the 18th minute to separate these two teams as Porto look to chase the game. We've been pretty comfortable, I think, since the goals got in. Alisson hasn't really been tested. Diaz did have half a chance. If he just got a bit more power on his shot, could have caused us a little bit more problems. However, apart from that, Porto not really offering too much going forward. So Fabinho's got the ball here, and we are just getting acres of space down these wings. We've got to exploit this a bit more as the ball comes in. It's a lovely ball. Mane's got to be. Mane's there. Is he onside? It's a bit of a muted celebration. Oh, what's going to happen here? It's a really well-worked goal. It really is. And I think it's going to count. It is. Yes, yes, yes. Sadio Mane has got his goal in the Champions League. Oh, you beauty. We were saying a little bit earlier in the watch-along that if Liverpool could just exploit these flanks a little bit more, they're going to find space. And Milner, with acres of space down this right-hand side, whips a delicious ball in just across the 6-yard line. Costa, it's in a bit of no man's land. Costa, not sure whether he comes out or not. Opts to come out, but super late. It beats him. Sadio Mane is there, picks the ball up with his left foot planted, ball in the back of the net. Sadio Mane with the goal, get in there to make it 2-0 to Liverpool. Oh my goodness, great play that. Porto did switch off. You've probably got to question their defending there, to be honest, from Porto. What I would say, though, is that that's pretty much, I think, where the blueprint for Liverpool going forward, just finding those spaces out on the flanks, which are there in abundance, really. And Milner, brilliant ball in. Robertson and Jones can do the same on the other side, and it's going to start causing Porto some serious problems. The game could run away from them if they don't stop that Liverpool attack down those flanks. There is a goal check, and it looks like the check is complete. Yes, and the goal stands. Oh my goodness, it is 2-0 to Liverpool. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There's going to be a minute of extra time here. We're going to play, as we'll just keep you posted on any score changes. There aren't any score changes. We'll do those at the start of the second half as Liverpool look just to close out this half here. I think the referee's probably going to blow up for half time, is he? Yes, he is. The referee blows up for half time. Really interesting. A little bit of a cagey start, it must be said. The first 15 minutes of this game, Porto did come out looking pretty bright, did muster a few half chances. Liverpool as well down the other end, but probably in the opening 15 minutes, Liverpool just a touch sloppy in possession. We didn't really get control of the game in the final third to play a few slick balls through, to try and create some clear-cut chances. However, that being said, Curtis Jones down the left-hand side causing all sorts of problems, runs in, cuts inside, beats one man, gets his shot away. Costa, the Porto keeper, can only parry it as far as to the Porto defender. It ricochets off him. Mo Salah is at the back post to poke it in from about 3-4 yards out. Then the second goal, Milner with acres of space down the right-hand side, whips a lovely ball in. Costa caught in no man's land. He starts to come out, misses it. Sadio Mane picks up the loose ball and pokes it home. 2 goals to Liverpool give them a 2-0 lead against Porto, and a really, really positive start to this game. We'll be back for the second half. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. Do join us then, but until then, have a short break and see you shortly. welcome back everybody to the second half of this live watch along with Liverpool away at Porto. Liverpool 2-0 up after goals from Mo Salah and Sadio Mane, and kickoff is just a few minutes away for the second half. So let's just dive into the formations board and let's actually take a look. I'll talk you through the goals actually and how they came about, because it was a really interesting bit of play here. So Curtis Jones, first of all, takes the ball and he kind of brings it down this way, and the ball comes in. He drives the ball down and has a shot parried off the keeper, and Mo Salah is just here. It ricochets off Porto's keeper. Mo Salah's there with the touch, and he touches it into the bottom right-hand side. And the second goal was a cross in, lovely cross in actually from from James Milner. Whips the ball in. The ball comes about here. It comes across about this trajectory. The keeper comes out. He's about here, the keeper, and he doesn't really come out for it. It's a bit of a howler really, and Sadio Mane is there to tap the ball home to make it 2. So really solid play that from Liverpool. A really solid first half from us, which is great to see. We hope to see more of it in the second half. But we'll come back over as the players come out onto the pitch. Marco Grujic coming on for Martinez as a change. Porto's second change. They were forced into a first change of an injury to Otavio, who came off. But Marco Grujic, former Liverpool player, of course, coming on for Porto. As the players now come out and the referee is going to kick us off. We'll start the timer. If you want to sync up, I'll start the timer. And you wonder if Porto are going to change that shape. Like I said, we've had so much joy down the flanks, so much space really down the right and left-hand side as the referee kicks off the second half. As Liverpool kick off, Porto with an early injury here. It's Cardoso who has gone down from it's basically an aerial, a duel. Van Dijk goes up and it's his trailing arm that catches Cardoso in the head. He's got his eye on the ball. It's a bit harsh if this is going to be a free kick to Porto. I think it is going to be a free kick here. Little bit harsh that, you must say, on the Dutchman, but it's with a throw. Sorry, it's not a free kick. Porto do get the throw at the end as they get the ball in. It's a decent ball in. The ball comes out and it's going to go out for a Liverpool goal kick. Don't forget, do like the video if you're watching and you are liking what's going on so far. Really appreciate it if you do. Also, hit us up in the chat as well. We'll give you a shout out. As Liverpool dispossessed there, Diogo Jota dispossessed. Porto with a chance down this right-hand side. Van Dijk comfortably defends it though, and Fabinho passes the ball out. Nice, got a bit of space on this right-hand side if we can see it. If we can see it out on this right-hand side, but the referee has pulled back play. It's going to be a free kick to Liverpool inside our half. I say if we can exploit that space down the flanks, it is going to look, I think, pretty promising for us in this second half. It's Robertson, who gets turned in the end down the left. That starts the Porto play off down the right-hand side. Doesn't come to anything, though, for Porto. As Liverpool have got the ball, work it back to Alisson. Alisson's been pretty quiet in goal. Hasn't had too much. He had a kind of a half effort from Diaz that with a better shot would have worked him a lot more. In the end, it was almost passed to Alisson. He was able to comfortably take it. Liverpool look to come forwards, play it out to this right-hand side to Salah. Up to Jordan Henderson. Plays a nice 1-2 with Henderson down this right-hand side. Can he get the ball in? He's got 2 Porto players on him. In the end, it's Mateus with the challenge, and it goes out for a Liverpool throw-in deep into Porto's half. As the ball comes up, Jordan Henderson with the ball in. Oh, it's good defending that from Porto. In real trouble there if he managed to beat the first man. Henderson with the ball in. Few players in the box there for Liverpool. As Porto look to break a little bit clear. Milner's just got to find his legs a little bit as Fabinho's probably may get a yellow card. Ref looks to be keeping his cards in his pockets. Oh, Fabinho, we got away with a little one there. You know, Fabinho not shy of a challenge, as we know. Goes in on Diaz, and there wasn't much contact there. It took quite a time for Diaz to find the feet of Fabinho after the challenge, and he goes over. I think it is going to be a foul to Porto, but they do want a yellow card. Not really a yellow card, to be fair. It's not that cynical. In fact, they don't even get anything, I don't think, there, Porto. I think that was the right decision from the referee. There wasn't really too much in that, to be fair. As Van Dijk picks up the ball in defence, knocks it back to Alisson. Alisson with a bit of time here. Liverpool really stretching the play. Really nice positions the wide players are taking up for us on this right and left-hand side. Henson picks the ball up. Does well to keep that in. Plays it back to Salah. Nice ball forward from Milner. Diogo Jota's got a bit of room. Picks out Mane. He's got acres of space again. Robertson running in on the overlap. Finds him. Beautiful ball that. Has a shot, Robertson. And it's well saved from Costa. And Jota can't trap the ball there. Probably should have done a bit better, Jota, just to get the ball and keep the attack going. Again, maybe a bit harsh, but... Robertson opts to go for the shot. It was lovely play that. Liverpool again with so much space down the flanks. Mane does really well to find the overlapping run from Robertson. Really nicely done. Robertson fancies his chance on his left foot. He hits the shot. Really rocket. Salah was on the far post running in. Had he just perhaps put it across goal, Salah may have been there with a tap in. Robertson opts to go for the shot in the end. If you are watching, do hit us up in the chat as well. Let us know what you think of the game so far and what you think your predictions are for the full-time result. As another Porto player goes down from Fabinho again. The Porto fans not happy. Fabinho with a big smile on his face there. So Fabinho goes in for the challenge, gets the ball in the end. Yeah, not too much in that again, to be honest. Fabinho does win the ball. It's an outstretched boot from Fabinho. Sets the ball, and it's his trailing leg in the end that brings down the Porto player. Again, not much in that, to be fair. As the ball comes up, Van Dijk does get it away, but only as far. And Fabinho there again. Such a colossus, Fabinho. Such a good player, Fabinho really is. As Salah puts a nice ball forward to Jota. Jota plays it back to Salah. Again, if you switch the players, a lot of space down this left-hand side. Robertson finds a bit of width, but the ball comes in. Porto do get it out, but only as far as Diogo Jota. Oh, it's half a chance there for Diogo Jota. Not the best defensive clearance from Porto. And Costa, the keeper's got to come out. It's a chance here for Liverpool. Porto really riding their luck. So the ball comes in. Poor header. Jota does pick it up in the end. Costa's done well. He's made himself big and he gets a boot on it just to take it away from the feet of Diogo Jota. Had he not, though, Diogo Jota there again with potential. Oh, yeah, Jota's just trying to almost chip the keeper in a way, kind of just get the ball over him. But the keeper's come out, trailing leg of Costa. Good keeping in the end, but wasn't really... it was really poor defending that from Porto. As the ball goes out for a Porto throw. And we will keep you abreast, of course, of all the goals across the games in the Champions League this evening. That other game in Group B, of course, AC Milan versus Atletico Madrid. AC Milan 1-0 up. A goal from Leao after 20 minutes. However, AC Milan down to 10 men. Kessié picked up a yellow card in the 15th minute, then another one in the 29th minute. So whilst AC Milan are 1-0 up, got a bit of work to do in this second half if they're going to keep it that way against an attacking Atletico team. And across the other groups, of course, we've got that other really mouth-watering tie, Paris Saint-Germain versus Manchester City. Manchester City 1-0 down, Gaët scoring in the 8th minute for Paris Saint-Germain. And so far, Man City unable to find a response to that game. And the other game, just to keep an eye on, just because of the results so far, is down in Group D. Real Madrid at home against FC Sheriff, the Moldovan team. FC Sheriff 1-0 up after a goal in the 25th minute from Yakshibayev. And so far, Real Madrid unable to find a response. So it'll be interesting to see how that game finishes up. as we return now to the Liverpool game as Mo Salah's got it out on this right-hand side. Jordan Henderson whips a ball back, cuts it back to Milner. Milner goes for the shot. In the end, Milner couldn't really work it out of his feet. He does have a shot, but it's not a great effort in the end. Comes off Porto defender. Porto do get it clear, and Porto do get a throw in. Look to play it quickly. Matip, though, too strong. Ends up getting shoved over. It's going to be a free kick to Liverpool. It is Taremi there with just a shove to the back on Matip. The Porto's Iranian centre-forward. And 2 more changes coming, of course. Remember, I think it is 5 changes allowed in the Champions League. So Porto, who have already made 2 changes. Otavio coming off with an early injury. And former Liverpool player Grujic coming on off at the break. But Porto going to make 2 more changes. But so far, Porto, it has to be said in the second half, okay, we're only 8 minutes in, but haven't really found their rhythm yet. As Liverpool come forward, Sadio Mane picks up the ball nicely, releases Diego Jota. Diego Jota with a shot, stings the hands of Otavio, and he ends up gathering it, Otavio. It's a good effort, that, from Diego Jota. Nice hold-up play from Sadio Mane, who's done that really well all game. It has to be said, finding the ball. Sadio Mane's through again. Can he whip the ball across? He does. Oh, it's across the face of goal, and Porto do get it out, and it's going to be a Liverpool corner. Liverpool absolutely dominant in this second half. Great play from us, it really is. Diego Jota with a lovely shot. It just hits it at the keeper, though. Can't really direct it in the end. Otavio just kind of gathers the ball. It parries it a little bit, but only in front of him, picks up the ball. But then again, Sadio Mane picking up loads of space down this left-hand side, flashes a nice ball across the box. And I think it was offside, actually, possibly in the end there for Liverpool. So Porto are going to pick the ball up. But Porto living a little bit dangerously. If they are to come back into this game, they are going to have to find a way to deal with our threat down the wings. I mean, Sadio Mane, who's finding some really nice positions. And what I've liked about Sadio Mane in this game, actually, he's got the goal, which is great. But he's also, his ability to hold the ball up, to pick the ball up when the ball comes forward to him, hold the ball up and release either Robertson, Jota or Curtis Jones has been really impressive, it has to be said, so far in this game. But Liverpool starting to control the game. It was a slight nervy first 10 minutes from Liverpool, but they did find their rhythm in the end, as Porto are going to make 2 changes. Wendell is coming on. Posaidu is coming off. And Porto looking to play a second sub, which they are now going to make. Vitinha's coming off and Mateus Uribe is coming off. Vitinha, may remember him on loan at Wolves. Scored an FA Cup winner against Chorley as Porto look to come forward. I wonder what that's going to do to the Porto shape. You kind of expect that that's going to make them, well, a little bit more attacking, possibly pose a threat to the Liverpool centre-backs. So far, haven't really offered much. If they can just get a bit more width, perhaps Porto might find a bit of joy. But so far, we've been able to contain Porto really nicely as Curtis Jones plays a ball forward. Mo Salah looks for the foul. Could have been given, but ref decides to play on as Porto pick it up on this left-hand side. As Mo Salah comes with the ball here, it's a bit of a chance here. Looks to be a bit of a 3-on-3, but Salah just a little bit slow to get it forward. However, Diego Jota picks up on this right-hand side. What can Diego Jota do? Oh, he just can't get it out of his feet, sadly, and it comes out to Jordan Henderson. Milner's going to pick this ball up. Bit of a chance there. Had Salah perhaps just... I'm asking too much. Salah is a legend. How dare I ask too much of Mo Salah? Just felt he could have run a little bit faster, possibly, just to make that break a little bit more effective. He did find Jota, and Jota in the end just couldn't quite get the ball out of his feet to get the shot away. But Liverpool just finding so much space down these wings, switching the play really nicely, it has to be said. As Curtis Jones plays it back to Alisson. Don't forget, do hit a like on the video if you're enjoying it. Do drop a comment in the chat box as well. We'll give you a shout out as Robertson comes down this left-hand side. Got a bit of space looking for Diego Jota in there. Oh, and it's good defending that from Porto. Do find the block, but only as far as Curtis Jones gets it on his right foot. Can he get a shot away? Can't quite find the space, so he plays it back to Henderson. Switch the balls really nicely from Fabinho to Robertson. Comes in on the left-hand side. Jota. Oh, it's a good Good defensive clearance that from Porto as the... Oh, come on. Not much wrong with that. Fabinho's adjudged to have fouled there, but there wasn't too much in that, I would have thought. However, it's going to be a free kick to Porto. And again, while there's a break in play, we will keep you updated with all the results as they're going in across the other games of the Champions League. Remember that other game in Group B, AC Milan versus Atletico Madrid. AC Milan still 1-0 up, 58 minutes gone, but they are 10 men. Kessié getting a second yellow after 29 minutes to reduce AC Milan to 10 against Atletico Madrid. So got their work cut out for them, AC Milan. However, still holding on to that 1-0 lead, which in the group does mean that Liverpool are currently, as it stands, 6 points. AC Milan on 3 and Atletico and Porto both on 1. And we'll take a look further down into the other results. Again, just keeping an eye on that Real Madrid game versus FC Sheriff, the Moldovan team. FC Sheriff 1-0 up away at Real Madrid. So far, 60 minutes gone. Real Madrid unable to find a response as Liverpool, Fabinho hooks the ball clear. Sadio Mane looks to play in Salah. Oh, it's not a bad... Sadio Mane was kind of almost falling over, but managed to get a pass away. Just had a bit too much on it, and it ran through to the Porto keeper. As Porto look to come forward, Curtis Jones there with a lovely challenge, and it's a 4-on-3 here if they can get forward quickly. It is a 4-on-3. What have they got? Sadio Mane down this left-hand side. Salah with eggs to space. Got to score. Salah! Yes! Oh, Mo Salah, you beauty, absolute beauty. Takes his tally to 28 goals in the Champions League with that goal. Mo Salah, yes, you absolute legend. Only Steven Gerrard has more on 30, so Salah 2 away from matching Steven Gerrard's Champions League goal record. 3 more goals and he becomes Liverpool's all-time Champions League goal scorer. And it's nothing short of what he deserves, Mo Salah. He's an absolute Liverpool legend. Curtis Jones with a lovely ball in, passes it up, loads of space, 4-on-3. In the end, Curtis Jones finds a beautiful pass, acres of space for Mo Salah through the legs. It's a wonderful, wonderful goal that from Mo Salah. Again, Curtis Jones with a fantastic, fantastic assist. And he's playing absolutely brilliantly, it has to be said, Curtis Jones. It's wonderful to watch. It really is. As Mo Salah takes his second of the night. Sadio Mane also scoring earlier on for Liverpool, which takes his Champions League tally to 20 goals. He is the third player, only the third player for Liverpool to reach 20 goals in the Champions League. Of course, we've spoken about the other two already. Mo Salah currently on 28. Steven Gerrard ahead at the minute, or the leaderboard of that on 30, but you would have thought Mo Salah potentially in this Champions League campaign could surpass Steven Gerrard. What a moment that will be for Mo Salah, but will of course will he do it in this game? Who knows? 30 minutes to go. Porto not really looking to offer too much in response. The changes haven't quite worked for Porto as Mo Salah comes charging forward again. Plays it out to Henderson on this right-hand side. Plays a nice one too. It just gets intercepted in the end, but Fabinho's there to pick up the loose ball. Plays it back to Matip. And in the end, plays it back to Alisson. Yeah, do say hello if you are watching. I think the chat box is working, so do drop a comment if you are watching. It'd be great to hear from you. Let us know what you think of the match so far and what you think the full-time result might be. Currently 3-0 to the Reds. And let's just make sure... And we are there for Liverpool. Do get the ball for Porto on the ball. Are looking to, try and see if they can salvage anything from this game. Look to play it out to the wide on the left. Liverpool got to stay a little bit switched on. Like I said, Mo Salah comes back. We've got a bit of defending here to do. Porto coming onto the edge of the area. Porto, oh, what a save from Alisson straight at him. But he traps it beautifully. And what I really like about that, Liverpool just switched off a little bit defensively here. Porto bring it down the left-hand side, whip a nice ball back in across the penalty area. First time shot, and Alisson gets down to his left super sharply and holds on to the ball. That was the really impressive thing about that. The ball fizzes into Alisson. It's got much more pace on it, that shot. But Alisson just brilliantly controls the ball As Robertson picks up the ball out on this left-hand side, he's got a lot of room to run into, and he does. Yeah, run into it. Oh, it's a lovely turn of pace from Robertson. Jinks the ball beautifully. Picks it up to Jota. Got to score. Oh, Jota. Oh, it's a beautiful bit of play from Andy Robertson. Charges down the left-hand side. Just burns the Porto defender left him for dead. Runs down, whips the ball back into Diogo Jota. He's got a bit of time. Works it onto his left foot. Tries to bend it, tuck it into the near post. Really nice jink. Gets it onto his left foot. Drives it in, but he's just wide of the left post. You think he's got to be hitting the target there, Diogo Jota. But good play that from Andy Robertson down the left-hand side. As Liverpool look to come forward, good defending that from James Milner, and also a bit shaky from Van Dijk. He tries to play an outside of the ball clearance, but it ends up going out for a Porto corner. And dare I say it, this may be the kind of pessimist or the nervous Liverpool fan, I guess, in me, but Porto is starting just ever so slightly to creep a little bit further forward now. Starting to ask a few more questions of Liverpool. And this Liverpool defence, we saw it against Brentford. We are obviously really solid defensively. We've got such good defenders, as we know, as Virgil van Dijk gets the corner clear, but only as far as Porto. They're going to come out to Diaz. Diaz, can he get a shot away? But Fabinho's there to block it. And we saw against Brentford probably the first time we were really challenged in defence on a consistent level in that game. And we did look a little bit shaky in defence, just picking up those second balls, winning those headers. And also for pace sometimes. Matip did, I felt a little bit tail off a little bit towards the end of the Brentford game. So Porto maybe might have a look in. I'm not saying Porto are going to draw level with Liverpool. They've got to find 3 goals in 25 minutes. But they may get a couple of chances here. They've got to stay switched on as Porto do pick the ball up. As the ball comes in, it's got to go up. Milner's there. It's good defending there from Milner. And it's an offside to Porto. So Liverpool are going to get the free kick here. But I thought that was a characteristic game against Brentford as well, defensively. 2 goals, the second 2 goals from Brentford, if you remember, came from those back post crosses where Brentford were getting the ball in and at the back post. And we saw a couple of times Trent surrounded by 2 or 3 Brentford attacking players and just unable to defend it. So hopefully Liverpool just going to stay a bit switched on at the back. And with that in mind, we're about to make an array of changes. Liverpool 3 coming on, so I'm going to have to keep up with the with the ticker. You can see the live team news at the bottom as Joe Gomez is coming on for James Milner. Looks like Taki Minamino and Firmino are coming on as well. We'll just update you with who they're coming on for. But yeah, keep an eye on the 2. Mo Salah has come off and Minamino has come on. And Sadio Mane is also off as well. Sadio Mane off for Firmino. So ringing the changes there. Klopp looking probably one eye on the game against Manchester City on Sunday. So we probably would expect to see, we'll expect to see Sadio Mane and Mo Salah start that game. So he's probably got one eye on that. 3-0 up, of course. So just excuse me, I'm just going to make a quick adjustment. There we go. Let's just sort out the green screen a little bit. There we go. Joys of technology. Yeah, that's fixed it. Lovely. As Pepe has come on for Oliveira. It's not that Pepe. It's not the centre-back Pepe. It is the attacking player. So that's all of Porto's 5 changes now made. Liverpool have made 3. Remember, in the Champions League, you are allowed to make 5 changes, unlike the Premier League, of course, which is 3. So we would expect probably Liverpool to make a couple more changes. But we'll see. That might change the frame of this game a little bit. Porto may find themselves a little bit more in... Well, I say that. They've just lost the ball quite cheaply. Jordan Henson's got a bit of space out on the right-hand side. Finds Gomez nicely. Gomez has gone to right back. It looks like Diogo Jota has gone to the right-hand side. Minamino's out on this left-hand side with Firmino coming through the middle. And actually, I've been really... I watched a lot of the pre-season games for Liverpool, and what struck me, actually, was Taki Minamino. I personally really rate Taki Minamino, and I know he is a player that hasn't really found his feet in the starting 11 for Liverpool, has made a lot of his appearances off the bench. But what I like about Minamino is he's sharp. He is super sharp, and when he gets going, he can finish really well as well. But Liverpool in a bit of trouble here. Matip Oh, and Matip, fair enough. Matip, that's what I love about Matip as well. Whenever you see Matip, a player go down in the penalty area in Matip, he just always ushers them up as if to say, "What are you doing? Get back up." It's always Matip. Always does it. Yeah, not having any of it. Not a penalty that. But just going back to Taki Minamino actually, and in the preseason games against Osasuna and Athletic Bilbao, but there's a chance here for Liverpool. Really poor defending that from Porto gives Liverpool a chance. However, Porto do get the ball clear. But again, a misplaced pass and Van Dijk's going to pick this ball up. But going back to the preseason game, sorry. So against Osasuna and against Athletic Bilbao, we saw Minamino have a lot more minutes in that game, and he did look razor sharp. And in those 2 60-minutes games in Evian as well that he played, again, he did get on the score sheet there as well. So he is a player that obviously Klopp rates. He is a player that Klopp trusts to bring on. And if he can just get a few minutes in this game, I wouldn't put it past if Minamino gets an opportunity for him to bury it. He is super sharp going forward. But of course, Klopp ringing the changes 3-0 up. We've got that really mouth-watering tie against Manchester City in the Premier League on Sunday. We will have a live watch-along for that, so do stay tuned for it. As we just keep you updated as we're doing, as Firmino has a chance there, but Porto managed to pick the ball up, and we'll keep you abreast of what's going on in the other Champions League games as well. Paris Saint-Germain still 1-0 up against Manchester City. Manchester City not able to answer that 8th-minute goal from Goye earlier on in the first half. So 67 minutes gone in that match, and they do find themselves 1-0 down. Manchester City, incredibly, AC Milan still 1-0 up. They went 1-0 up to Leao in the 20th minute. But then Kessie got sent off, a second yellow in the 29th minute. So AC Milan down to 10 men. It does mean that AC Milan, as it stands, sits second in our Champions League group. Liverpool first with 6 points, AC Milan with 3, Porto and Atletico Madrid as it stands on 1 point. So things looking pretty good results-wise for Liverpool, it must be said. Okay, if it was a draw in the end, that would reduce AC Milan's points. But the fact that we beat AC Milan, certainly I think it puts us in good stead. Well, it puts us in good standing with 3 points as clear as it stands. But you know what I mean? Kind of AC Milan going to beat Atletico Madrid, having lost to us, it means that the points are getting kind of shared and halved around the other 3 teams at the moment, which is good for Liverpool as we sit 6 points ahead. Real Madrid have got their goal back. They were 1-0 down for quite a while against FC Sheriff, but Benzema with a penalty on the 65th minute has equalised for Real Madrid in that game in Group D, and Borussia Dortmund are still 1-0 ahead. A goal from from Marlon. Of course, transfer gossip favourite for Liverpool in the summer transfer window for Marlon. An assist there for Jude Bellingham as well. And in the other game in Group C, Ajax beating Besiktas 2-0. That was in the early kickoff. But we'll come back across to the Liverpool game as the clock ticks over into the 71st minute. Remember, do hit the like button. Do drop a comment in the chat box. We'll give you a shout out as well. Let us know what you think of the game so far. It'd be great to hear from you if you are watching along with us as the ball goes out for a Porto throw. And it looks like Liverpool are going to make another substitution here. Ox is going to come on. And I wonder who that's going to be for. Possibly Curtis Jones, most probably, I would suspect. As Alisson looks to play a ball out, but it's a pretty poor ball out. It goes straight out for a Porto throw, as Liverpool are going to make this change. So we'll update the team news. You can see the scrolling live team just under the tracker on my left-hand side, as Ox is going to come off for Jordan Henderson, actually. So it is Van Dijk who is going to take the captain's armband off Jordan Henderson, of course. If you did see the news earlier on in the week, Klopp holding, I think it was a vote to decide on more potential captains for Liverpool in terms of the hierarchy. And it was Alisson, Trent and Robertson who are kind of, I think, 4th, 5th and 6th in line to the Liverpool captaincy. But Van Dijk takes it for now. As Porto look to bring the ball forward, but Liverpool pressing really nicely and peg Porto back. They look to play it out wide. It's not a bad ball out. Macarona out on this right-hand side. Porto not really offering too much going forward. As Vitinha looks to power forward, he does, but who else? Fabinho is there to intercept the ball. However, Ox has lost the ball. It comes out on this right-hand side. Early ball comes over, but Gomez is there with a nice header, but Fabinho can't get the ball this time. It's Vitinha who's picked it up on this right-hand side. He's going to get the cross, and he does. It's going to be a goal. It is a goal to Porto. Taremi has got the goal. It's 3-1 now. And like I said, Liverpool just got to be a little bit careful. Just a little bit careful here, Liverpool. If they switch off defensively, it's a nice ball in. And it's the first time really Porto have kind of really drilled forward. It's a good ball in. Gomez does clear it. Fabinho can't quite get the challenge in. And it comes out to this right-hand side. They whip it in, Porto. And yeah, there's no one kind of in front of... It's a lovely cross in and it's a header on. You've got to say the defending Matip, maybe, not to say that Matip is to blame here, but Matip, Fabinho and Gomez just can't get the other side. And it gets headed into the bottom left-hand corner. It's a lovely header in. Alisson not really having a chance there. And Liverpool's clean sheet has gone. Porto, that's going to probably add a little bit of life to Porto. I don't think I could handle another 3-3, if I'm honest. Hopefully it's not another Christian ball. Let's not jinx it, hey? But my goodness me. Diogo Jota's got the ball on the edge of the area, but gets crowded out. Porto defend nicely. Liverpool just got to stay a little bit switched on here. The ball's going to come forward, and it does. Porto with a bit of a chance. Oh, but Porto, they slip, and it's Diaz out on that left-hand side. I think you can't quite get the ball under control. But Liverpool just going to have to stay a little bit switched on if they're going to see this game out. Klopp has rung the changes. As we have a goal update for you. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Well, is there a goal update? I've got a friend of mine texting me saying that there is. No, apparently Suarez causing all sorts of problems for AC Milan. Of course, an Atletico Madrid player now, Luis Suarez. But my friend just texted me to say, apparently, how is it not 1-1 in that game? But AC Milan, as it stands, 1-0 ahead against Atletico Madrid. As Curtis Jones just having to do a little bit of work at the back here just to get it out defensively. Nice ball forward. It's going to come through to Bobby Firmino. The keeper's come out, though. Firmino, can he score? It's going to roll. It's rolling. It's rolling. It's rolling. It's over the line, is it? Is it over the line? It's over the line. Bobby Firmino. Is it? Yes, it is. The score track has changed. I don't know what it is. I think it's VAR that's just making me nervous about celebrating any Liverpool goal. But it's a goal. Yes, yes. And it is a goal that has stunned the Porto crowd. So basically, Curtis Jones gets the ball forward. Costa in no man's land comes running out. What is he doing? The defender has probably got that. Firmino about 40 yards out. Yeah, it's a goal. It is a goal, that. The keeper, you've got to say, is having an absolute shocker here. So the ball comes out. Firmino basically picks up the ball and he has a shot and he basically just passes it in from about 40 yards out. But the thing was, the ball wasn't hit with too much pace. So it's a bit of a sprint on for Costa to try and get back. He is running and running and running to get this ball. He does get a hand to it, but by which time the ball has already gone over the line as Si Senor reverberates around the Porto Stadium from a very boisterous Liverpool fans who are in absolute dreamland. Oh, it's so good from Bobby Firmino. Oh, Bobby Firmino, what a goal that is. And it has to be said that that's the second time that the keeper's at fault, really, there. The second goal for Sadio Mane, where the keeper just came out and just basically didn't do anything. He almost let the ball roll past him. Sadio Mane was a bit surprised when it came to him. He just left foot stabbed it home. But Liverpool 4-1 ahead now. And that we knew that there would be goals. There is always goals in this tie. And as it stands, Liverpool in the last 6 games in the Champions League against Porto have now scored 20 goals against Porto. We absolutely love playing against them. Porto have only scored now 4 goals against Liverpool. So it is a place we love coming to, the Estadio do Dragão. But it is a bit of a goal fest, really. I mean, obviously, remember that 5-0 win a few seasons back for Liverpool. As Gomez does well to hold up the play there and ends up bundling over the Porto player. But it's good defensive play, really, that from Gomez. He just holds the ball up, doesn't allow the ball to get past him. So as the clock ticks round into the 80th minute, Liverpool, we find ourselves 4-1 up. It's been a really good game for Liverpool so far. As I'll just show you some of the stats as there's a slight break in play at the minute. And we'll just take a look now. Take a look at that, really. Shots on target, 11. We've absolutely peppered the Porto goal. Porto have had a few chances, though. Had a couple of shots, 3 shots on target, a couple of shots off target. Liverpool with... Well, we had 23 attempts in the first game against AC Milan. About 7, what was it? It was about 7 on target, 7 off target, and the rest blocked. But Liverpool starting to dominate possession, as we can see there. So 61% possession to Liverpool. And yeah, it's been, as you can see, we've been working the keeper. 7 keeper saves that they've made. And Liverpool with the counter-attacks as well. As the ball lands to Bobby Firmino. Is it offside? Is it offside? Oh, and the flag has gone up. They will possibly check it. I'm not sure if that will count, though. We'll see. But as you can see, Liverpool dominating the game. We're going to come back to the game, though, because Liverpool have got a VAR review here. Bobby Firmino has put the ball into the back of the net. It was originally adjudged to have been offside. Let's take a look. Bobby. Ooh. It is back heel that's going to be done here, I think, for Firmino, and I think it will be offside. The decision will stand. Firmino just he's got his heel arched, and there is a player also doing the same thing just above him, but Firmino is probably just just a touch in front. I don't think this goal will stand, to be honest. I think it will be offside. I would be surprised if it is super, super tight, though, it has to be said. And I would be interested. I mean, to me, it looked offside, personally. However, they are going to check this. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? It could be the hands they're talking about now, potentially playing Firmino onside. It's getting closer. Come on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're going to look at it again. Oh, it's the orange boot that might be. Maybe that boot out is still playing Firmino on. Maybe. It's really tight. They're having a good look at this. And they're going to have the lines. It is super, super tight here. Bobby Firmino, will he get on the score sheet? This is why VAR doesn't allow you to celebrate goals anymore. You've always got to have one look on VAR. What's going to happen here? What's going to happen? Has the goal been given? We wait and we wait and we wait. Having a good look at this. Oh. It's a goal! Yes. No offside. Bobby Firmino makes it 5-1. My goodness me, absolutely unbelievable this scoreline now is it is just dreamland stuff for Liverpool. Absolutely fantastic. As basically Curtis Jones gets the strike. The thing is, Curtis Jones gets the strike and it comes off for Firmino. He manages to turn in the end and he gets the shot away. It's a beautiful finish from Bobby Firmino, who gets his second after coming on as a sub. And, well, yeah, Porto, no answers really so far to Liverpool. What has been an onslaught from us, really. Again, another time, the second time in the Champions League that Liverpool have scored 5 away at the Estadio do Dragão in Porto. I mean, this is becoming our goal haven, really. It's almost like Porto are the Norwich of the Champions League. Remember, Porto coming into this game on an 18-game unbeaten streak. Liverpool on a 17-game unbeaten streak, so they're gonna flip around here. But Porto sitting second in the Portugal top tier, same points as Sporting, 4 behind Benfica, but undefeated so far in the league. 3 wins and 2 draws, Porto. So, certainly no pushovers, but we've just made them. I mean, they haven't offered much going forward, to be fair, but we haven't. I mean, we've just made them look a bit silly, really, at the back. Okay, 2 keeper howlers from Porto, but defensively, they haven't really been up to much, Porto. And Bobby Firmino gets his second of the game after coming on as a substitute. Looking really comfortable now. I think Liverpool have got one more sub to make, and I wouldn't be surprised if Klopp takes it with that one eye on City. Of course, we took Salah and Mane off after about the 65th minute, again, with an eye on that City game. God, my word, that's going to be a great game, isn't it? Liverpool 14 points, Man City 13 points, first v second. Whew, that's going to be an absolute crack. You don't want to miss it. And we are going to be live for the watch along for that game. That's Sunday, the 3rd of October, kickoff 4:30 UK time. We'll be live 4:20 UK time. But let's go and have a look at what's been going on in the other games in the Champions League. Remember, when we left it, Paris Saint-Germain was still 1-0 up. AC Milan was still 1-0 up. Is that the case at the moment? Let's take a look. It isn't, because Paris Saint-Germain have gone 2-0 up, and it is their star signing, Lionel Messi, in the 74th minute, who has got the goal for Paris Saint-Germain. So City with all to do now. 83rd minute. 83 minutes gone, sorry. Man City 2-0 down if they're going to find a way back in. And in our Group B, in Group B, the other game going on, AC Milan versus Atletico Madrid. Remember, AC Milan were 1-0 up for a good amount of time in that game, despite going down to 10 men. Kessie getting a second yellow in the 29th minute. But there's been a goal, and it's gone to Atletico Madrid in the 84th minute. Antoine Griezmann has levelled for Atletico. Now, what does that do to Group B? Well, it does a lot in Liverpool's favour, it has to be said. Liverpool currently, as it stands, sitting top of Group B with 6 points. Atletico Madrid now on 2 points. AC Milan and Porto both on 1. So Liverpool starting to develop quite a healthy lead at the top of Group B, which is fantastic, obviously. I think a draw would be the favoured result. AC Milan, okay, winning would also be a good result, I'd say, for Liverpool. I'd probably say Atletico Madrid are the slightly stronger team, and we know somewhat of a bogey team for Liverpool in the Champions League, however. And we'll go and give you an update on the other games as well, going across in Group A. So that's Man City and Paris Saint-Germain. Club Brugge 2-1 ahead against Leipzig. Leipzig not defending too brilliantly in that game, apparently, and well, not looking good for Leipzig, it has to be said. Real Madrid against FC Sheriff. Remember, Real Madrid going 1-0 down at home to the Moldovan side. However, Real Madrid do find themselves, as I say, there's an update in that game, as I was just talking about it, and there's a goal. And the goal has gone to FC Sheriff in the 89th minute. The Moldovan team away at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid find themselves 2-1 down. It's just come up. I don't know if they're going to VAR check it or anything like that, but as it stands, Sheriff 2-1 up against Real Madrid. Oh my goodness, what a shock that will be in Group D, of course. As let's go back to the Liverpool game, and it is 87 minutes gone. Liverpool 5-1 up as the camera pans to a joyous Liverpool away end, as Diogo Jota is coming off. Liverpool looking to make the final change of this game. And it is Champions League legend Divock Origi coming on. Of course, had a fantastic game against AC Milan in the Champions League in game week 1. Of course, scoring some incredibly iconic goals for us. And that road to Madrid, where we beat Tottenham in the Champions League final. Of course, Divock Origi sealing that. But however, the 2 goals he scored against Barcelona in that unforgettable 4-0 win at Anfield. God, I don't know about you, but does anyone still YouTube that on a daily basis? It's such good watching. Anyway, Liverpool are going to have a free kick, dangerous free kick out on this left-hand side here. Ox is standing over it. Ox with the ball in. He's gone for a shot here, and the keeper can only parry it over Costa. I don't know. I think it was a deliberate shot from Ox, I think, in the end. So he's looked. Yeah, it is a shot. And he's got hold of it, Ox. It is straight at the keeper, but it's in between that kind of no man's eye where it's just creeping in under the bar. So Costa's just got to tip it over the bar. It's going to be a corner kick to Liverpool. Remember, do hit us up in the chat if you're watching. What have you thought of this game? 5-1, the second time in the Champions League, Liverpool, that we've scored 5 at the Estadio de Dragão of Porto. Again, becoming a bit of a goal haven for us as the ball comes back in. Taki Minamino tries quite an adventurous one from about 25 yards out, but it goes wide. Klopp has got to be happy with this. It's been a dominant Liverpool performance, this. Absolutely fantastic. Goals from Mo Salah, 2 goals to Mo Salah, Sadio Mane with a goal, and Bobby Firmino coming on as a substitute, getting 2 goals. 2 goals that, well, particularly that the first goal that Bobby Firmino got to make it 4-1. Howler from the keeper. Do check it out if you're not watching live on the highlights after. Costa not really covering himself, the Porto keeper, in too much glory there. As Porto look to try and strike late on, it comes through. Porto, good defending from Andy Robertson. Really good defending from Andy Robertson. Vieira was in there. He's just about to get his shot away, but Alisson gets the save in the end. It's a good save that. Good defensive covering that from Andy Robertson. Do give us your shouts for man of the match as well. Who's impressed you in this game so far? It's a handball. Got to be a handball. Yeah, it is. Porto almost in with a chance there, but it is a handball. Who's impressed you in this game? Who would you say is your man of the match? It could be a pick of quite a few players, to be honest. I think special mention to Curtis Jones, who once again has shone in this game, showing a real maturity in his play. Of course, kind of got the semi-assist for Mo Salah's first with a lovely flash shot across goal. The keeper could only parry it into the Porto defender, and Salah was there to stab it home. Of course, a goal from Sadio Mane, putting him on to 20 Champions League goals. Only the 3rd Liverpool player to reach such a milestone, behind Mo Salah, who's on 28, and of course Steven Gerrard, who is on 30. And I think he's now the 2nd highest African footballer, 2nd highest goal scorer in the Champions League for an African footballer, behind Didier Drogba. And he's been really bright, Sadio Mane. But I think my man of the match has got to go to Mo Salah for his 2 goals. He played well. I mean, it could be Bobby Firmino for his 2 goals, to be fair. Fabinho has been a rock. Van Dijk's been superb at the back, just, really in command as he always is. But I think I'd probably give it to Mo Salah. However, I'd understand if there are people giving it to others as well. But all around, it's been such a solid Liverpool performance, this. It really has been. As Fabinho picks up the ball, can we go for 6? Why not? Curtis Jones comes bombing forward. He's got Robertson to his left, opts to hold up the ball a little bit, slides it back to Fabinho. Fabinho comes charging forward, plays it out to Robertson on this left-hand side. What can Robertson do? Comes through to Fabinho. He's got a bit of space. Taki, Jinx. Oh, and the ball gets taken off him. Only as far as Robertson, though. Robertson's picked up the ball. Firmino out to the right-hand side. It's going to come out to Gomez. And the ball goes out for a Liverpool throw-in. Liverpool going to take their time as the clock hits over 30 seconds left of the game. And what can, if any... I mean, can we find a 6th? I'm not going to complain if we do. I think I would have thought I think the ref's probably going to blow up by the time Liverpool players take this, to be fair. As Gomez looks to play a long ball forward, he does, and the ball goes out for another throw, but the ref's going to look at his watch and he will blow. You would have thought this is going to run out. A 5-1 win. Yes, there it is. Fantastic. 5-1 to Liverpool. An absolutely fantastic result. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. 2 goals for Mo Salah, 1 for Sadio Mane, and 2 for Bobby Firmino. Taremi did get a goal to make it 3-1 for Porto, the Iranian centre-forward. However, Porto didn't really have the answer to what was an incredibly dominant Liverpool performance. What a great way to go in to what is going to be an absolute cracker of a game against Man City. But before we go, let's check in with the final results around the Champions League tonight. And Paris Saint-Germain still find themselves 2-0 up, 90 plus 2 in that game. It looks highly unlikely that City are going to come back. So Manchester City going down to a loss away at the Parc des Princes. And it does mean in their Champions League group, Paris Saint-Germain are top on 4, Club Brugge are top, a joint top, sorry. Both Paris Saint-Germain and Club Brugge on 4 points, Man City on 3 and Leipzig on 0. Not looking good for Leipzig in Group A. Let's head over to Group B, of course, Liverpool's group, and the other game, AC Milan versus Atletico Madrid. Remember, AC Milan went 1-0 up with a goal from Leal before Kessié was sent off after 30 minutes for a second yellow. Griezmann equalised in the 84th minute for Atletico Madrid to make it 1-1, 90 plus 4. It's still 1-1. What does that mean for Group B? Well, as it stands, Liverpool sit top on 6 points. Atletico Madrid are in second on 2. AC Milan on 1 and Porto on 1. So Liverpool were looking really strong after the first 2 games in Group B in what is on paper a really challenging group. So absolutely brilliant for Liverpool at the top of Group B. Let's head over to the other match in Group D, because Real Madrid, who were trailing 1-0 to FC Sheriff, did find a goal in the second half, a penalty from Karim Benzema, but Phil has got a last-minute winner for FC Sheriff. The Moldovan side have gone to the Bernabeu and beaten Real Madrid. What an absolutely thrilling result that is. And would you believe it, in a group with FC Sheriff, Real Madrid, Inter and Shakhtar Donetsk, FC Sheriff find themselves at the top. 2 games, 2 wins, 6 points at the top. Real Madrid sits second on 3, Inter Milan and Shakhtar Donetsk on 1 point apiece. In Group C, in the early kickoff, Ajax beat Besiktas 2-0. Borussia Dortmund at home to Sporting were 1-0 up from Marlin in the first half. No goals added in the second half, so Borussia Dortmund run out 1-0 winners. And for Group C, that puts Ajax and Borussia Dortmund joint top on 6 points. Both of them played 1-2. And for Besiktas and Sporting, it means that they sit joint bottom on 0 points. So that has brought you all up to date. Oh, there's a penalty to Luis Suarez. Oh my goodness, we're going to stay on air. Last minute of the game, Luis Suarez has got a penalty. What can he do? What can he do? He has scored it. Luis Suarez. Oh my goodness. That is a massive goal, and that changes the dynamic for... we wanted a draw, didn't we, really, Liverpool fans? We wanted a draw, but we haven't got one. Atletico Madrid, can you believe it, in the last minute of the game, getting a penalty, and Luis Suarez has coolly and calmly, it's a handball, it is. Luis Suarez knocks it down at the middle, which does therefore set up a pretty mouth-watering tie in our next Champions League game that will see us at home to Atletico Madrid. Of course, Liverpool will be facing former Liverpool player and Champions League goal scorer now for Atletico Madrid, Luis Suarez. That game will be on the 3rd of November that we play that. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. We will be away at Atletico Madrid. Apologies. We'll be away at Atletico Madrid on the 19th of October. We will, of course, have a live watch along for that. But Just to finish off for the day, Liverpool run out 5-1 winners. Liverpool, we will play Man City at home to Anfield, first v second in the Premier League. That game will be on Sunday, the 3rd of October. Kick-off at 4:30. We'll be live for the watch-along from 4:20, so do join us for that. Do follow us, of course, on Twitter. Scrolling across the bottom, you'll find that there, and also in the description below to get the link for that. But do stay tuned. Do hit the subscribe button if you've enjoyed watching, of course. It's been a pleasure to have you along, as it always is. Thank you ever so much for watching, and we'll see you next